Hello. Welcome
We're
to the
live.
show today. Got something special. We're coming here from sunny Florida. Had some rain here today.
This morning.
We'll give a few minutes for get a few people on and see what's going on. Did you write hello again too?
Yes, no, I didn't see you wrote hello.
She's doing some echo in there.
I guess.
And so we'll wait a few minutes, and we're going to have a guest come on tonight. She's checking the sound and everything there, making sure everything's looking good. There's B-Rod's on. How's it going? And we're over here at the world famous Pizza Hut over here because where we're at, the internet sucks again like it always does.
Internet.
So got some loud people in here right now. So we'll give a few seconds here for everything to kind of
Rick's
calm
on there.
down.
Hi, Rick.
And
Rod King's on. Don't call. He always says, oh, I can't do that. I'm clicking on my phone.
that mouse over here. Click on the mouse.
Oh.
So what we're going to have tonight is something special. We've been at this event before, and
Cool
it's called
Tennessee Motorcycle and Music Revival.
there you go. You got it right. You usually get it backwards. And it's over at Loretta Lynn's Ranch. It's over there in Hurricane Hills, Tennessee. Those are Mills. I think I put Hills on the thing. No, I did put Mills down.
Hurricane Mills, Tennessee.
All right, so I did type it up right. I said it wrong. It's a pretty neat place, a lot of great riding. They have a lot of events, and we're going to get the promoter, Buck. He's going to come on here in just a few minutes, and he's going to tell you a little bit about his adventure and some of the excitement he's got. I've been just kind of looking at their website today, and it's a lot bigger than we were there a couple years ago. A lot more events going on. They even got some hill climbing going on. They got a lot of great events going on, more than they had before when we were there. And of course, all the rallies do that. It seems like they always seem to get a little bit better. And let's see, we got quite a few people coming on already.
Yeah. Julie's on. Julie's my cousin.
So what do you got on there? 21 and
24.
let me put my ear on so I can hear.
Hello from Ontario. So somebody from up in Canada is on watching us.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool.
But they're behind me there, so it's not quite so in my way.
Obvious.
Yeah. She's playing with my wire.
There we go. Is that better?
I guess.
I did mine. You can't see mine.
She got hair. Got all my hair cut off. So, Buck, you're all ready to come on? Yep, he's all good.
Okay.
All righty. So, we'll bring Buck on here. Do the stream. Hey, there we go.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good.
Good
And
to see you all. In a minute.
How's it out there in sunny California?
It was nice. We rode about 180 miles yesterday. Nice little loop down to the river, up into the mountains. Got a little bit. I think we went through 4 or 5 different California counties. So it was beautiful. It's nice.
Cool.
sounds like it. So I said after all that rain, and makes it really bad with all that rain and stuff you guys have had out there.
Yeah, we got a ton. It was pretty wild. Up in Tahoe, there's still snow, like more than we've seen in 50 years, I think.
Oh, yeah. Well, hopefully Lake Mead will fill back up.
Yeah, I don't really understand how they manage the water in those deals. It's pretty frustrating. Here's the thing. California, our politics are ridiculous and horrible. But the state itself, like if you rode where we rode yesterday, it's gorgeous and the people are amazing. But yeah, some of the bureaucracy and the people in charge, not the best.
Yeah, little be desired.
We lived there for 17 years, so we kind of know how it is. But yeah, it's I want to get out there again, but is it all the way good now, going all the way up the coast?
I think they are built up, but I know there were some serious problems on the one bridge by Monterey, and I have not. Tanya, my wife, is going to go down and ride that area. I think there's a Babes Ride Out ride there later in the year, so I hope it's rebuilt by then. That Central Cal is a beautiful stretch of road.
Oh yeah, it is
Gorgeous.
So we brought you on for one particular reason tonight. We're going to talk about the Tennessee Motorcycle Music Revival. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so the Tennessee Motorcycle Music Revival, or some people call it the TMMR or the Revival, is about 6 years old now. It's a dream that started about 10 years ago with myself, my wife as a partner, Carrie Rep, another partner, and the ranch and the family, the Lynn family. And started very small. I think we threw the most expensive party in the world the first year, but it's grown every year, and it's turned into a really friendly, special group of people. For some reason, not some reason, I can tell you why, but it attracts just really nice, friendly people, the best of our culture, you know, and music people, motorcycle people, chopper people, performance people, baggers, you know, we don't really care. Dirt bikes, metric bikes. This year we're adding an ADV experience, so we'll have metric bikes out there. It's just a beautiful mix of friendly people coming together to celebrate a passion for motorcycles and music. And it has a unique feeling. It's a little smaller, a little more intimate. It's on Loretta's ranch, which you guys know is just a gorgeous piece of property. But I think the reason we have that vibe going and that friendliness, I really believe it started with Miss Loretta herself. It passes down to the ranch hands and the family and to us and how we feel about hospitality when we throw an event. And I'm really proud of the feeling and the friendliness that you get at this event. It's very special.
And you got some really great riding out there too.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. You know, Eastern Tennessee gets a lot of that rep, and it is beautiful up there. But we got Natchez Trace. The road right straight from the ranch to Alabama is one of the coolest roads I've ever ridden. We also, Bob, have hundreds of miles of trails. And so we opened that up 2 years ago to people who want to bring their dirt bikes. We send them out with a really experienced motocross rider because we don't want them getting lost. I mean, it's a really vast property. And we take them out and take them on guided rips. And you know, if you are a serious single tracker, a single moto guy, we'll give you everything you're looking for. You know, or if you want to take your adventure bike out on a fire trail and just get out there and burn through the woods. But yeah, we'll have the ADV experience with Harley Davidson kind of promoting that and sponsoring that. A little bit of something for everyone.
You got actually a lot of stuff going on for motorcycle. You got some racing and some hill climbing and.
Yeah, the racing, you know, we got real serious with the racing the last couple of years on the flat track. This year we're going to kind of go back to we're still going to do serious racing on the flat track, but we want to keep it fun. We want it so if Bob wants to jump on his 74 Shovelhead and race his buddy, you can do that. Or if a group of hooligans show up and they want to run a class, we can do that. If the guys on the booty bikes and the mini bikes want to show up. So Saturday and Friday on the flat track will be open to everybody. Including people who aren't riders. You want to go out and race a mini bike, you know, we'll make that happen. The hill climb, though, Bob and Tam, has become, we really started that last year, and it was amazing. You know, we have a hill where we can drag race head to head, and you don't get to do that very often. And we literally ran, you know, an open class of Harleys. We ran Sportsters. There were dirt bikes. There were adventure bikes. We're going to have classes for everybody. Strike Force Energy Drinks put up $1,000 already for the main Harley Open class. So anybody wants to race their Dyner, their Sportster up there, there's $1,000 at the top of that hill. And then adventure bikes, vintage, and we're really excited, Bob. We're doing this thing that is so crazy that it's a great idea because it's such a bad idea. But we're going to give $1,000 in performance gear to the first guy who can put a bagger on top of that hill. And that's sponsored by V-Twin Visionary. You can alter the bagger any way you want as long as it's a stock bagger with a stock fairing and stock bags. Other than that, have at it. We might get one guy, we might get 10, who knows. But they'll get $1,000 in gear from V-Twin Performance, high-end performance motorcycle equipment, and they'll be featured in V-Twin Visionaries media. So that's kind of fun.
So just talking about motorcycles, how about your entertainment you got going on?
Yeah, we're really proud of our music. You know, what we try to do is a little unique in that we really try to feature emerging local bands out of Nashville and Memphis and Texas. And most of our stuff, you know, you're not going to see Kid Rock, but you might see the next Kid Rock. You're going to see these emerging artists who are on their way. They've already established themselves. We had Billy Gibbons the last 2 years, but this year the music lineup is unbelievable. I think every single one of these bands is someone you're going to walk away with your mind blown.
I see you got the hippie group. What's that? The one
Yeah,
that does
the
all
War
the
Hippies.
rallies. That's it. The War Hippies. I know they're really famous. They do a lot of Harley events.
Yeah, War Hippies are really blowing up. They're out touring with Travis Tritt right now, and they're making some noise. Those guys are they just did a thing with Black Rifle Coffee. I mean, they're all over the place. I love the War Hippies.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people do like them. I see more and more people are asking for them at some of the different rallies and stuff. And they're like, well, get them to come out, get them to come out. And I've actually never got to hear them play yet, but I'm kind of excited to catch them somewhere along the line.
I think you want to catch them now because I do think eventually they're going to be playing stadiums.
Oh, okay. You also offer camping out there at your location.
Yeah, we have a really diverse offering there. We have powered spots, although to be fair, all of those are sold out. We have plenty of room though to booty camp. I mean, we can camp 10,000 RVs out there. We have water pump out. We have sewage disposal if you need it, and water. And then we've got tent camping, which is super affordable. I think it's $10 or $15 a night. So we try to, Bob, have something for, the guy who has the $1 million Prevo and the guy who's going to sleep on a bedroll. We want to accommodate everybody here and make it work for everyone.
So one of the things you did when we were out there in, I think must have been 2021, that you had a lot of different rides that you had during the day. You could go out on some different rides. Like one they took us out to it was out at a barn, out at a log cabin, had a barbecue or
fish fry.
Yeah.
Fish fry it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fish fry's awesome. That's out at a homestead that's been out there in Tennessee pre-Civil War. So we'll have a guided ride every day. We have independent rides as well. And then we've got a Rever, which is a really cool online app that I've been using for about a year to track my rides. We'll have tracked rides that you can create your own and put them and load them onto our Rever community through the app, which is free. Or you could go on and say, oh, look, here's a ride out to Alabama. That's an hour and a half out, an hour and a half back. So it's a really cool way to share your rides. But yeah, we'll do a guided ride every day. And then there's some special VIP rides as well. So we've got quite a lot going on there.
It sounds like it. And so is there anything, I don't think there's anything that I forgot. Is there anything you want to tell us about your event that we missed out on?
I think the biggest thing is just that it's a little unique. It's very authentic. It's very intimate. We'll have stuff going on from 10 in the morning till you tap out. I mean, we have a creekside bonfire and a bar down on the creek that goes, until the last person standing, basically. So, and then, just to reiterate again, this is a place to come if you're a biker or not, music fan or not. It's a place to come and celebrate and meet like-minded people, make friends, and just have a great experience. You cut out.
So there you go. You do have some vendors.
Oh, I think we're sold out on our vendors. If not, we're down to the last couple spots. So it's probably since you guys, because you guys were there pre-COVID, right?
No, it was after. It was 2021.
First year after COVID. Yeah. It hasn't probably totally doubled, but it's close from there. It's growing a good chunk every year, and we will have really cool vendors there. We've got some really neat stuff.
And you have food trucks and stuff there too.
We do. We try to not do carny food. We try to do better food fare. We also have kind of a cookhouse where someone will be cooking there too. Yep. We're having a creek party this year. We're having a pool party. My wife's in the background. Tanya, when's the creek party?
Saturday.
Saturday's the creek party. Friday's the pool party. We've even got moto yoga. If you want to bring your yoga mat, we do yoga by the pool.
You're gonna gotta cut it all covered, huh?
Oh, we want to. It's a big tent revival, right? Something for everybody.
Okay, it sounds like a great thing. I wish we could make it this year. We're going to try to put it on the list for next year, and hopefully it'll be bigger and better next year. And it definitely seems like you guys are going on the right track.
Growing, yeah.
Because a lot of these rallies get to a point and they kind of get stale and they don't do a whole lot of new stuff. But you've definitely, just in these last 2 years, you've definitely taken it to the next level.
Yeah, we were named Cycle Source Media's Event of the Year, and they go everywhere. They go to Sturgis, they go to Laconia. So that was a big feather in our cap. But I'll tell you the one thing: our team, we're here to make sure every single person who comes has a great experience. And we're not perfect, but we will work our butts off to provide the highest level of fun and service that we can. We are so appreciative of you guys coming out and talking to us tonight. And if anyone has any questions, they can find us at motorcyclesandmusic.com. or on Facebook or Instagram. We're TN Motorcycle Revival on the socials. We answer every text, every message we can. So anybody who has any stuff, hit us up.
There you go. Well, I want to thank you, Buck, for being on. And
appreciate you guys very much.
You're welcome. We had a great time when we were there and can't wait to come back again.
And if you get out to NorCal, let us know. We'll take you for a ride.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
All right, so that was pretty good. Take my earplug out, and Buck does a great job. We see
It
him
was
all the
fun.
time. He comes to Daytona. He comes to a lot of the rallies and stuff that we
Promotes
see
it.
him at, and talking about his rally and stuff. And it's a lot of fun. And it's when I go back and talk about rallies like that. I think I skipped a few here. Here we go.
I missed the first part of the
For
live.
the cabins or just tent and RV. He had glamour tents, and those are all sold out. And he does have RV spots, which have hookups and stuff, but they're sold out. So you really have to get it's actually on. You can actually go to Loretta Lynn's ranch, and you can see some of the stuff that normally goes on there. So it's on her property. She passed away last year. Her granddaughter, I guess, comes out and she does some singing. She sounds really good. She was on our channel a couple years ago.
Her name's Tanya or Tanya.
Yeah, Tanya, I think it was. And but yeah, it's right now all that's left is like boondocking. But I mean, the boondock is all on the river, so it's really nice if you've got a generator or something like that. Yeah, it's a creek. But it's the creek is most of the way you could almost walk across most of it. That's what happened.
Probably about knee deep.
When we were there a couple years ago. It was so hot. People had their lawn chairs sitting out there. Some were just sitting in the creek.
Laying in the creek.
And
good old days, like when we were kids.
And they got a water mill there. And she's got a little bit of an old town down there that you can kind of tour through and stuff too. We didn't go down there. We drove down there, but we didn't do anything down there. But I mean, there's some really great riding out there. And that's what kind of, I got to quit shaking the table. And some really good riding out there too. And one of the rides that I went on, she didn't go. She stayed for the burnouts that they had. And it ended up, we didn't have very many that year. And so she should have went, but I went on this ride, and Buck was talking about it, and it's a Civil War log cabin, and somebody actually lives in it. I think they also rent it out as an Airbnb. It's not on the property. It's about 45-minute ride away, and you go onto this farm, and you get to the creek, and you can either ride your bike through the creek, or you can park your bike on the other side, and they haul you across in pickup trucks. Well, most of us parked our bikes, and a couple people took the ambition to go through the creek. And then we went over there, and they had caught catfish in the morning, and they cut them all up, and they deep fried them. They had hush puppies. It was beer, everything. It was all included. There was no price. There was no charge to even go on this ride. Now he does have some VIP rides that they're bringing in now. I guess you're probably riding with somebody famous, and but the normal rides they do every day. Like one day they went to a winery. I think it was like $20. It was like all the wine you could drink. We didn't go on the winery. We're not big wineries, but I got on that ride, and I wished I would have gone on all the rides, but I just didn't know they were. There's so much going on in this little area that it was hard for us the first year to keep up with all that. They did
have a gigantic whiteboard that had all the events going on, and that's how we saw the rides. And I'm like, when is the ride leaving? They said in 5 minutes. And he's like, go grab your stuff. He grabbed the camera and his helmet and took off and went on the ride.
Yeah, maybe we'll bring that video back up and not
show some highlights of it,
and show maybe some highlights of that video. Of course, it's gonna be a lot bigger now. And we had Dan Kai did come out there, and a couple other vendors that we knew came out there. And it's a little slower. It's not a big rally like he said, but it's when you get into
fun rally.
When you get into the Midwest, it's kind of like when we talk about bikes, blues, and barbecue. You get a different grade of people. It's just different. It's like if you've never been out on the farm country or the hill country and stuff like that and meet some of the people, most people they'll bend over backwards for you. They're like, are you looking for something? You don't have to be looking. You can just be looking around and like, you need something? Are you looking for directions? You need this or that? And so it's like, wow, they're just so nice and people are friendly, and you got people running around in coveralls, and this rally is different because it's got everything. You can come in there with a homemade bike, or you could come in there with $100,000 chopper. You're going to fit in with whatever's going on. There's not anything that's not appropriate. There's a lot of dirt bikes because actually Loretta Lynn's track there was built for doing dirt bike racing. It's a dirt track. And so when we went in 2021, they had a lot of bike racing there, which I think ended up happening was wasn't a lot of people interested in that. We had some mini bike races, which we have some video of that we took.
I'd like to go back and see if that little girl's still riding. She was like 3 or 4 years old, and she was trying to keep up with her brother, and she was doing a pretty good job. So I'm sure
she was probably more than 3.
She wasn't too much older than that. She was tiny.
And so
but she's on one of the videos too.
But it's a really great thing, and it's next week. It's in May.
It's in May, yeah.
So it's May 18th through the 21st.
It's the last weekend of Myrtle Beach.
Yeah. So we'd have to leave Myrtle Beach early. Not saying that we wouldn't do that. It just kind of depends on what Myrtle Beach does. This may be our last year for Myrtle Beach. What we're looking for now is we're not getting rich in this, and we've got to get to the point where people have to, if they want us to cover their event, they have to sponsor us. They have to at least give us a place to stay. Buck's offered that to us. He didn't have any hookups left, but he said we could go over to the dry camping area there, and he'll put us up for the whole time. So, which is really great, and it helps with us.
We appreciate that.
And so a lot of things, just like we're going this weekend, we're being put up by somebody. And so we get that to where it helps us out with the videos, because we just don't get the views that we should get. And, you know, during an event, we do really well, but it's like now there's not much, I'm not putting much out because there just isn't a whole lot of content right now going on. I could keep putting videos out about Daytona and go over and over and over and keep showing you different clips and stuff. But, you know, how much of Daytona do you want to see? So we're working on a video. We got a great one coming up tomorrow night. That's going to be about
if you know anybody,
how you would like to have somebody, if you know somebody that has a band and want to get big. I've got something coming up tomorrow night that if you can get involved in this, cost you $50 and you have to show up to it. But you could end up getting
setting your career on.
You could be getting a record contract. We've got it set up, and you're going to hear tomorrow night from a couple people that are going to explain this to you. And you can go ahead and look ahead of time and kind of figure out what's going on, but you don't know everything that we're going to be telling you tomorrow night on the video. So it's a short video. It's less than 8 minutes long, but it's going to tell you some great things. If you know somebody that's got a band, and then if you are coming to Sturgis, you're going to see something that might be something that you'll remember the rest of your life. So that'll be tomorrow night's video.
We've been through Tennessee and Pigeon Forge and all that, but not on the bike.
Yeah.
We've driven through it when the kids were younger, or when we were younger. Hey, Joseph?
We hopefully one of these days, and it could happen soon, if we don't get sponsors soon to support us on some of these rallies and stuff that we're going to end up probably seeing a lot more smaller rallies next year. Of course, we'll be doing Sturgis. We'd still like to really do Daytona, but we don't know about all these little rallies that we're at now, like Leesburg, Panama City,
won't say, because
Myrtle
we've
Beach.
been doing nothing since the end
So
of...
about a month and a half, we're sitting around here doing nothing. We're twiddling our thumbs. And there's not a lot of content. We've gone over to Leesburg a couple times now. You've seen the video last night. We did a live from Leesburg. Not a whole lot going on. But we went over there to talk to the campground and stuff. We got a video getting ready to come out about that. I got a lot of videos that I'm working on. I got about 10 of them I'm working on at one time. And so we got a lot of content to get out here. I need to get everything that I've got right now out before Leesburg starts. So we got a highlight video on Leesburg that's going to be coming up, showing you a great place if you want to camp. And you got a tent, or you got a trailer, or no cabins, or no rental equipment. Oh yeah, you can rent tent, easy camp.
Camp Easy Ride's going to be there.
Yep, and we're going to spend a couple nights with him in his compound, and we'll be able to show you guys how much fun that is, and all the activities they got going on and stuff. And we'll be having a video coming up on Thursday during the rally, where hopefully, if all goes well, we'll be doing a live from there and kind of show you around. As long as the internet don't get too jiggly on me, we should be able to.
When we were there, it had pretty good internet.
There was nobody there, just us and the cows and the horses. That's it. Nobody else there.
No pigs.
No pigs. Some birds.
Yep.
That was about it.
Lizards.
And but it's pretty neat. I think Leesburg this year is going to be a really good rally. A lot of fun. Some big band's going to be there. You know, I can't believe it that they got Buck, Cherry, and Warren is coming. You know, those are more 80s, 90s bands, but they're still, you know, if you're a good old rocker and stuff, they've got some pretty good music and stuff, and it'd be worth hearing and seeing. Also, Big Engine's playing a couple places. If you're a Florida band, if you're a Floridian, or if you come to Florida a lot, Big Engine's a band that plays a lot of rallies here in Florida. It's kind of like Jasmine King. And they said, well, Jasmine King was just out here in Leesburg about 2-3 weeks ago playing an event. So she probably won't be back that soon. She's not set up to be here. But a lot of great stuff going on. So that's kind of what we're trying to do for you guys by doing some of these lives, is we want to try to bring you, even though we can't go to all these rallies, and all the ones we're talking about, we've been to. So you're not seeing something we haven't seen, but of course they're getting bigger and better. And a lot of times when you start looking at small rallies, just like this one here, also Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, those are 2 rallies. Lake of the Ozarks is another one that they're small rallies and they're getting bigger. They got people putting money up. They're investing in the products. It's just like here, he's got a couple of races going on, a couple of hill climbs. They're giving $1,000 away for 2 different people are going to win $1,000. So that's pretty neat. I like that. And
And they're having the beggars one. You get a
that's what he
outfit.
said. Well, it's $1,000 worth of products you get.
Okay.
So they're giving away $2,000 worth of stuff.
Okay.
$1,000 cash, $1,000 worth of product. Still $1,000 no matter what. But it's kind of it's neat. Where kind of like Ryder X always says that. Ain't all these rallies the same? Well, if you go to some of these three that I'm just talking about, they are totally different from what you're going to see from year to year because they're growing. They're getting bigger. People are starting to notice them. Just like he said, Cycle Magazine rated them as one of the biggest up and coming rallies in the United States.
Yep.
So, they get around to all the rallies and stuff. So it's kind of impressive. And
well, it's great because you can ride your bike during the day and then you can watch all the great music at night. I mean, it's kind of the best of both worlds. So.
And what it's known for, like I said, they had Billy Gibbons, which is from ZZ Top. He's been there the last 2 years. He was there when we were there. But a lot of the acts that you see are people that are up and coming. Like, for instance, somebody like Garth Brooks would have been there like 25 years ago if they would have had this. He would have been on the stage. We've seen that before in a country back, probably 25 years ago or 30 years ago. We've seen all up and coming bands, which were people like Brooks and Dunn. It was Reba McEntire. It was Alan Jackson. It was Garth Brooks wasn't there.
No.
Billy Ray Cyrus back before he was anybody, which ain't really much of nobody now either.
Sweetheart to the Rodeo, and I think who was married to them.
But that's kind of what we seen back then, and then you sit back and look. Well, it's like Chris Stapleton. He came to our town in Laughlin a couple years ago, and he was nobody. And I was like, I ain't gonna go see that guy. I don't know who the hell that guy is. Look at him now. You can't even get him. You can't even. Tickets are crazy to go see him now.
Do you remember last year when we did a live from here and the phone kept ringing? You guys kept saying, "Well, somebody answer that darn phone." We're at a Pizza Hut, so that's what they're doing. People are calling in orders. Thanks, Jeff. We'll see you in Myrtle Beach, I guess. Cycle Search Magazine had Paul Yaffe on last night and Jason Muck.
There you go. That's pretty neat. And I know they do a live all the time on a pretty regular basis. I catch it every now and then, but not all the time. And it's just, there's so much stuff on the internet. It's so hard to keep, even just with YouTube, trying to keep up with what's going on.
Don't forget to vote for Neil. He's still in the running. So we need to vote for him and get him up there so he can make it to the next round.
I think, Neil, you're going to end up to get into first. I'm imagining that the guy that's in first has probably dumped money into this. Back the other day when they had for every dollar you got 2 votes. If you were wanting a chopper, $10,000 to $20,000 isn't that much money to invest. Not knowing what the other guy invested though. But if I know you don't have it and I don't have it either. But I'm just saying that's probably the guy that's probably number one. I am betting either he's spending his own money or he got somebody to sponsor him to dump a crap load of money in. And I don't think the single votes are going to ever catch up with what he has. If somebody gave $10,000, that's 10,000 votes ahead that you've got to get 10. I don't even know what the vote. It'd be nice if they told you what the numbers were, so you could even
because somebody wrote us and told us that they gave $20 or $50, whatever they actually did the money, and it didn't move you at all. And so they were kind of disappointed, I guess, that they. It's from the other side.
I don't think it's pulled down.
Do you have to go pull it down?
Yeah, because it's blinded you and me.
Can't see. You got a bunch of sponsors or bunch of
sponsors. Thank you, sponsors.
Oh.
All right, so let's see what the comments are. While she goes kills the sunlight here. I was there when Sweet Tea Trio played. Love the band. Too bad they never hit. Well, that's what I say. You never know about, and it's tough. Yep, we're going to be in Myrtle Beach, and we're going to get there a couple days early because we talked to her. We got into our free campground a couple days early. We're going to try to get there just in 3 days from here. Actually from Panama City. Hello, guys. Looking great. As always, love your show. Thank you, Richard. And Budweiser stock is plummeting. Yep, we see that. I put a few things on our Sturgis page, and I kind of had to put the current on it because it got a little too carried away. But the idea was I've had a few people but emailed me and Facebooked me and stuff like that and said, hey, what is the distributor or what is the promoter saying about Budweiser? And I'm like, I don't know. So we talked to somebody yesterday that we were in Leesburg, and they're like, yeah, the sales are down, but we don't know. I mean, it's like everything else. Like somebody today did, which I didn't believe it was true, and I did look it up. But Harley Davidson last year or year before, they invested in Wisconsin's LGBT. So, and they've been doing it since like 2019. Now they're on the board of it for Wisconsin and stuff. You know, a lot of that stuff's going on. But in a case like, I'm not going to get real involved with this, but I mean, what we look at is, you don't need to jam everything down our throats. You know, when you look at the numbers, you know, less than 3% of the United States is actually LGBT. So it's not a big group. Yes, people shouldn't discriminate against them. People shouldn't hate on them, just like the Jewish people. People shouldn't be blowing up their synagogues and things like that. People have a right to their religion and their beliefs, and I'm okay with that. And people
like sucks anyway. Drink Corona.
It should be that way. But I actually found out today, because somebody brought that up, Corona beer is owned by Anheuser-Busch.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The Belgium Anheuser-Busch. So I didn't think it was true, and I Googled it and I searched it. Now, I always search things out before I want to come publicly and say something, just like this guy was saying that Harley sponsored LGBT in Wisconsin. I'm like, I'm gonna look that up. Is it just a dealer? No, it was corporate doing it. So, you know, and it is what it is. But in this case here, this is almost getting to be like the TV commercials. You know, I'm tired of seeing it all. I don't need every commercial to be an LGBT commercial. You know, they're not doing any other, you know, you're not showing happy married couples in every commercial. You know, why not? Or you're not showing a happy black couple together, or Chinese, or whatever nationality is, Indian, Native Americans. You don't see a bunch of commercials about them showing them that, you know, their life, you know. So I don't know. I don't get what I always say, just like we don't really talk politics. We're not going to say who we vote for, who we don't vote for, or who we support, or who we don't support, because everybody has a right. It's America, and it shouldn't be that way. People should have a right to speak your mind. If you want to be, you're a Biden supporter, good for you. And if you're a Trump supporter, good for you. If you're whoever you're supporting, that's your right, because we all live in America, and that's what it's all about. And people shouldn't get butthurt about different things. But in some cases, if you don't like what somebody is pushing, then yeah.
You have a right to speak your mind.
That's right. And if you don't want to buy a product, that's fine. I'm like that with Aunt Jemima syrup. We don't buy that anymore. There was nothing wrong with Aunt Jemima being on the cover of Aunt Jemima syrup. I don't know. We have a lot of, which it's never good to say this, but I mean, we have a lot of black friends. And we used to live right outside of East St. Louis, Illinois. Look it up. It's about 90% black. So we have a lot of people that we know that are a dark skin complexion. And I don't know any of them ever complained about Aunt Jemima.
Or Uncle Ben.
Yeah, any of that stuff. And since they've changed all that and made a big thing out of it, we don't buy any of those products anymore.
Even Land O'Lakes India, the butter. You know, they took the Indian.
And one native person said, "I don't want my picture on there."
It's just all crazy. It doesn't.
Yeah, it's just a crazy world we're living in nowadays. And what I always say is, you know, when you sit back and look at this and wonder, you know, who's making a big thing about this? If only 3% of the people are LGBT, and I actually Googled African Americans, black people, dark-skinned people, whatever you want to call them, and it actually is 18% of the United States is African American. So when you look at that, you're thinking, okay, who's making all the big noise about all this? Why are they stirring the pot so much? Well, go look at it. It's actually these old white geezers in Washington, D.C. that's making all this noise for these people. And when you go talk to them, it's like, oh, there's always going to be a few. You know, there's racist people in every ethnic group. There's racist people. There's LGBT people that's racist. There's white people, black people, green people, purple people, whatever you are. There's racist and a little bit of everybody.
I want to know if TMMR is too expensive, a bit expensive. Because I do think they charge to get in.
They do charge to get in. But the stuff that was there, the food and stuff, really wasn't a bad price. We're not big beer drinkers, so I don't remember what the beer was and stuff there that they sold. But you can leave. Now you can go right down. It's probably 6 miles, 5 miles down to the highway, and that's where we stayed at the KOA. Because last time we couldn't get in there, they were all sold out. We couldn't even get in 2021. So we stayed at the KOA. Well, actually, we stayed at one of our subscribers, but he was 50 miles away.
David Maribeth.
And when we kept driving back and forth, I'm like, this is just too far because it's all just highway. So we ended up getting the KOA and stayed there during the rally. And we just drove up the hill. Well, there's a few things down there. There's a buffet down at the end of the street if it's still there. It was a pretty neat buffet. It was like a old something you'd see like if you've ever been to Branson, Missouri, kind of like that type of buffet. It's a I don't know. It was just a neat place. The food was pretty good. I don't remember it being bad, so I would say it was pretty good. And they had some other restaurants right there because you're right there at the intersection. So you're not too far away if you want to go down and get that. They do allow you to go buy your own beer. They don't search you or anything like that. If you want to bring your own cooler or you want to fill your RV up with beer or whatever it is. I didn't see any signs or anything while we were in there that said you couldn't drink your own product because it is private land. So it's kind of like, you're just like if you're going to Glencoe or anything like that to where you kind of walk around with your own beer and stuff. If you brought it, they probably wouldn't let you carry it in. But if you got it in your bike or your car or your motorhome or wrapped up in your cat, whatever you got. But I mean, I didn't see any problem with that either. I don't remember where the Walmart was at. It might be a little bit farther down the road. But we really had a good time there. But yes, it is one thing that you pay, and I don't know if they're one of the ones that as it gets closer and closer, the rate goes up.
I don't remember. I don't know. We should have asked that. I forgot all about that.
You could look it on their phone.
Oh.
And see what.
Stationed at Hill Air Force Base in Utah. Anybody can drink the beer.
Tennessee
First
motorcycle
time he drank it,
music
he's like, I know why people put lime in it because the Corona beer you can't really drink it without the lime.
Tennessee motorcycle music revival. So let's see what the prices are.
That's right.
Bypasses.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. There's David. How you doing? You're going to Leesburg, right? So we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Next weekend, not this weekend coming up.
Okay, so we'll read off what they have on their general admission. Okay, so all guests must wear their official 23 wristband. Acres of camping on 4 campgrounds plus preset glamping accommodations, which those are gone. To reserve an RV spot, please proceed to ticket purchasing. Live music on all 3 stages. Fist City track action, including flat track racing, biker field games, Bonnie races, and more. Complimentary admission to watch the Wall of Death stunt show. Pool parties. Don't remember a pool being there, but maybe
that's what he asked me. Maybe they put one in. Yeah. I don't know.
Yoga. He was talking about the yoga.
Yeah.
Creek party and more. Daily group rides. Enduro trail riding is new this year. Harley Davidson Pan American trails. And they have bikes. Harley's usually has their demo truck down there. Food from some of the best food trucks in the area. Multi-bars, concessions, official bands, and event merchandise, along with many more amenities throughout Loretta Lynn's ranch. The Western Town stores, which is what Loretta Lynn has, which we didn't go through. The museum, the plantation home. Her home's gigantic. The number 1 location for memorabilia photos at the Old Grist Mill waterfall. It's pretty neat. Yeah. All located on Loretta Lynn's ranch. So let's hit here and we'll see what it all costs. Now, we're coming down to the deadline.
Call us and let us know.
Okay. So if you want to do all 4 days general admission, really isn't too bad. It's $129.
For all 4 days?
Yeah. And if you want to do the enduro trail riding, is $149. I don't know if that's they're going to be escorted because he said some of the rides are escorted through their harder rides to ride. They got VIP experiences, Western Town exclusive, Loretta Lynn's mansion. It includes all this stuff. There's also a kids festival pass you can buy. They have single days. Thursdays $40, $50 for Friday, $60 for Saturday. Sunday's free. So not too bad.
So Big Rider said there is a really big pool there. I don't remember. Where was it at?
This is over by Loretta Lynn stuff. I don't know. See, we never get to it. It's like here. We got a swimming pool here. Ain't even been in it. Not this time. We were last time we were here.
Last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever we were there.
Because we talked to somebody.
Yeah.
So there. I didn't see the camping. Oh, okay. Yeah. VIP experience, Premier, Ultra, inclusive, trail riding. Yeah, so the adventure experience enduro trail riding, that's extra. They charge for that. Pit pass, personal UTV, and golf carts. They rent those too. You can rent a UTV there.
There you go.
Didn't know that. Golf carts, reserve now, pay over time. You could have made easy payment plans on all this.
There you go. That's nice.
If you would have done it ahead of time. Payment plans are available. That's what before. It doesn't show what the camping is. Let me go back here and hit this again. and see, because it might be RV. It's probably the $129 includes tent camping. If you're going to bring your own tent, because I don't see anything like that. They did have trailers that you could rent. They had trailers which really weren't bad, $75 a night.
Cheaper than a hotel room.
Yeah. Glamping, they had glamping tents. Just a typical glamping tents. Can't see it. Can't see it. Still can't see it. Still can't see it. Still can't see it. Still can't see it. Sorry. I tried. Go to the website. They had premium tents, Emporium VIP suite tents. They had a lot of tents. We've seen them last year. They were pretty neat.
2 years ago.
Yeah. That's about it. So they don't have prices for the RVs.
Camping.
But because they're sold out. So I don't know what they normally would charge for the full hookups and stuff like that. But they do have dry camping available, which they're not showing anything for dry camping. So might be the same thing. You might, like I say, you'd have to call and check.
Yeah.
Or you could write Buck, like he said, you could ask him on any of his social media, and he would be happy to answer any questions for you. I wasn't thinking about that when we was on.
I know.
Not
I didn't
glamping.
either. Yeah. All right. So we got that. Got that one. Joe Schmidt was on. David said he was, weather permitting, he'll be at Leesburg. Yes, there's a pretty big pool there. Looks like you're feeling, yes. I don't know
We'll
what it
do
was.
all right. I think it might have been just the weather, the allergies and
Allergies.
stuff. See, it's rain now. We've had rain last couple of days. It rained last night. When we went to bed, it said, "Oh, rain will be all gone by 1 a.m." I got up this morning about 7, and it was raining outside with a bad storm coming through. We're just, which has been really nice. We're just on the edge of it. They had a tornado. Well, I don't call it tornado. It's a wind water spout that they had over by the coast, south of Daytona, north of Cocoa Beach, somewhere right in there. Little trailer park, mobile home. Not really a trailer park. It's got park models. Blew some. One got his roof blew off. A couple carports blew away. They're just, you know what a carport is? Just a piece of tin with some stakes on it. Took a couple of them off.
So he said it was near the split. So it was up there. Was it up there on the top where the?
No, I'm thinking he's probably thinking about the split where you maybe when you go to the campgrounds this way and you go this way to Loretta Lynn's ranch's house. I would think the pool would be up by her house.
I don't know. I still don't know.
So when you
We'll
go
have
up the
to
hill,
look at some
when
of
you
the-
go up the hill, they had you go all the way up the top of the hill, and then you break that. As soon as you get to the top of the hill, if you look to the left, that's where the glamour tents were at. You're right there. And then you went a little farther down. So I don't know what was that. There was another road that
Chieftain
went.
said it was right next to the main entrance. There might have been
Was
something
there
right
cabins
there.
up there too?
There was right behind where that office and where all those
Here.
people were at.
Why don't I look at Loretta Lynn's ranch? Loretta Lynn's ranch.
I just don't remember
Well,
being a pool.
We don't.
Wall
do,
of Death is a great show. Yes, it is. Those
we
guys
don't
are
do
great. Anyways,
Loretta Lynn's ranch. Still ain't gonna show nothing up. What's the glare tonight? Maybe I can show you what's on my phone. They do have cabins, but they're not part of their house ranch map.
here we go. Where's the pool? Show me the pool.
Show me the money, honey. Wait for the map to come up. It's a map how to get there. Campground, tent camping,
Yeah, does it
store,
say pool?
food. I don't see
Pool,
pool yet.
right there.
Oh, it's at the bottom. It's number. There's a bunch of number ones.
Oh,
So it must be.
nope, there it is.
Showed a picture of the pool.
Yeah, there's a picture of the pool, but
I don't know.
oh, was it back there by where we parked? I remember tennis courts being there now.
It's on Hurricane Mills Road. It's past the cemetery. So it's up at the very top of the hill when you make that turn. It looks like it's off to the right there.
Huh. Yeah, make sure you get on the white website because we went and it's not a scam. They really have it.
Right.
Del Brett said he signed up for Nashville Bike Week at Loretta Lynn's Ranch, but it ended up being a scam and he said people's lost thousands.
Well,
It was
this
a
isn't
scam
Nashville
website.
Bike Week. This is the TMMR, which
Right.
stands for Tennessee Motorcycle
And
Music Revival. So it's not Nashville Bike Week.
It's close to Nashville, not too far from
Well,
it.
it's a ways. I think it's about almost 100 miles from Nashville.
It's across the road from It's across the road from the glamping tents.
Okay.
I don't know.
It could have been there. We just
Yeah.
didn't see it.
Or we might have saw it and didn't remember. I don't know. Washed and wiped down my bike, and it was green by the time I was done from all the pollen. Yep. I'm going to name my girlfriend Pollen. There you go. Y'all live again. Awesome. Facebook user. I don't know who you are. It might be June, or is that you, June?
Or is it Karen?
It could be Karen.
Oh, we are not staying in Useless now.
No.
Estes, we're not
Useless.
staying there. We had said something the other day, and Karen wrote me and said, tell me when you guys get there. We're not going to get there. We're staying here now till Wednesday of this next week. Then we'll be going over to Leesburg. And then we'll let you know where we're going to be at in Leesburg once we get stationed there.
Facebook. I'm looking for Facebook.
So let's see what the other comments say while you're looking at that. Christopher's on. Keep up the good work. Love the vibes and the videos. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate that. The salty air and myrtle will cure my allergies. Yeah, they probably will. That's what's weird about here. Usually, which it is, whenever we're in Myrtle Beach, I got really sick there years ago, 20, 30 years ago
When the kids were little.
And it was that salt air and stuff really did help. But down here in Florida, you don't really get the salt smell like you do. Not on the Gulf side, of course, you're not gonna get on the Gulf side, but on the Atlantic side.
Well, the Gulf is salty too, isn't it?
Yeah. Ryder X, how's the gummies working for you? Jimmy's on. There's Ryder X.
Glad to hear you're hanging in there. Are you taking the 8 or 9? Don't take either one. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, it just depends on your.
Unless you're just gonna lay in bed.
Yeah. So we got a whole bunch of neat stuff coming up. We got some videos coming up. We got a great museum that we went through. Somebody's going to talk about a whole bunch about great Harley motorcycles from the history of them. Gives you a lot of great information. Working on that one. We've got a Leesburg video coming up. We got a couple of campgrounds that we did a review on. One is Neil still on? Did you get a hold of
Anybody from Socorro Station?
I called them. And they have not called me back. Saying I gave them my alias. So they don't know who I am. So even if they knew who I was, they would probably don't know who I am anyway. But I called because a woman actually answers the answer machine. And so I said on there that, hey, if you, I'm interested maybe in an RV spot, could you please call me back? Tell me what you got available for the rally, blah, 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 blah. And I called Saturday afternoon. When you posted it, I called that afternoon and nobody's called me back yet. Might wait till Monday. Maybe they're not in on the weekend. So I think it was Saturday when I called. So we got that going on. What else do I got that I'm working on? Oh, the biker bar. I got some great information to tell you about their warranty. Did you hear that? And the biker bar. And what else am I working on?
Right. Hit the thumbs up.
I got some other videos I'm working on too. I don't know what they are. They're in the queue. And so Leesburg one's the next one. So tomorrow we got a great video coming up telling you, do you know anybody that's got a band that wants to get a break? This is better than American Idol. Better odds.
Yeah.
So if you've got a
only
band,
12 bands.
Yep. So if you know somebody that has a band, doesn't matter what they play. Could be punk, could be rock, could be country,
classical,
could be hillbilly music, whatever you want to do.
In any age group.
That's right.
Old, young.
Well, I don't think you want kids doing it.
It said.
Well, I know any age group, but I imagine the odds of kid group winning, unless it's Michael Jackson or Don Osmond, somebody like that or something. I don't know. Probably wouldn't get in. Probably wouldn't win the competition. But it's a really great way, and there's a lot of great prizes going to be happening, and we're kind of a little bit involved in this. So check out tomorrow night's video coming out at our normal time. So
that red tide was bad.
We never dealt with the red tide while we were down here. Well, no go. We didn't see any. I looked at the map, but all they do is they put all these little dots on the map, and I can't tell if we're anywhere near that or not. But I mean, we went out by the water. I didn't see none. We haven't been in either the Gulf or the Atlantic Ocean at all. We didn't put our feet in it this time. So we're not big water people over here. That's not really anything we were planning on doing.
With the hurricane and all that stuff, everything washing in and out.
That's like we do. We lived in California for 17 years. And after it rained, you get nowhere near the ocean. Yeah. All that trash and pollution. Well, you look at just like Fort Lauderdale. When people are out there walking around in that water, You know, how many of those people in that area do you think have septic tanks? Okay. And your front yard fills up. And you got, they call them leach lines that it all drains out of. So you think out there that, you know, the water gets in the ground, starts soaking it up, then it starts wash. You know, do you really want to be in that water?
I'll pass. Well, even especially out here, I mean, I don't know how people in Florida get in any rivers or lakes or creeks. I wouldn't, not just because
Some old man was out here the other day, and not right here, over by somewhere around Orlando here, I guess it is around here. That he was out in his backyard cleaning up. Damn alligator grabbed him, tore his leg off. 79-year-old man. Should have got so close to the water. They tell you out here, the craziest ones, these people that have these little rat dogs, these little dogs, they're walking around. They walk them right next to the water. Next thing you know, whoop! Where'd my dog go? I mean, it happens. But I mean, wouldn't you think you have enough common sense that I'm not going to walk my little dog next to the water?
My big dog close to the water.
You know, I'd want to at least be far enough away that he couldn't jump, because that's what they do. They just leap up and grab it. Well, on land, they're a little bit slower on land. I mean, if they're within your tail reach, you know, they can whip around really quick. But they're not fast runners. They're not a track runner, so you can outrun them. But if you're standing right by the water, they come. You know, they only got their little beady eyes out there looking at you. Next thing you know, where'd my dog go? Fido, where are you at?
Have you seen the crazy birds?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
I had one the other day.
That's what it says all the time. It's easy, but what's the name of the motorcycle museum that's closing that you recommended? I can't find it.
It is in, it's
in Iowa, and it's J&P Cycle.
Well, not J&P. What's the guy's name?
John Perham.
John.
Now I'm on that. Oh, no, I guess I didn't
motorcycle.
sign yet.
Thank you. I'm so sorry about that.
That's all right. Hey, where's my card?
Come back later then, or wait?
Yeah, you can just wait.
All right, I got another way to look it
There
up.
you go.
Because they're going to auction the bikes off. We're going to do a video on that too, and I haven't got to that. Let me go to my email, because they sent me an email about this auction.
You guys been to June Buggies in Cooksville, Tennessee? No. I remember that.
Let's see, we got
Florida. Never go after your golf ball in Florida.
it's more than a water ball. Can't find it.
Hi there. We have somebody from another country. He put a lot of pink hand waving, blue hand waving. Thanks. You're welcome. Hope to see you if you come over to the States here. Jill, good luck and prayers for fast recovery. That's right. For Jill and Terry. Happens here all the time. Dog food. I don't know. It's yeah, I don't know. Anyone here own a Triumph motorcycle? I don't know. Does anybody have a Triumph? Some of you guys have a lot of vintage bikes, I know. Couldn't find it?
Not yet. Become auction.
So there's a lot of stuff where we're going to try to stop by there on our way back. And we might from Milwaukee to...
We will stop by there.
But yeah, he says we're going to get to Sturgis earlier. So unless you leave...
Even Sunday, we'll stop by there on
it
Sunday.
looks like Neil used to have one, a Triumph. National OC Museum in Amicia.
Yeah, I think that's it.
National.
National OC Museum.
George knows all that stuff. Is that it? Anamosa.
Let me put. That is the town. National Motorcycle Museum. That's what it's called. National Motorcycle Museum. Doesn't have the OC in it. It's in the eastern lower
Iowa.
Yeah. So it's not that far. It's less than 100 miles from Wisconsin.
Milwaukee, Iowa.
Yeah. Well, Wisconsin.
Well, George said Iowa.
But yeah, it's
MC.
in Iowa.
It's supposed to be MC.
Oh.
National MC and it put OC. George was typing too fast.
But they're officially closing on September
There you
4th.
go.
But they are going to have an auction that you guys can get online and talk about. And we're going to give you some information on that real soon. Because the auction is going to be in September too. And
I think right after they close it, I think it's that next weekend. They're taking them straight up there, and it's going to be by.
I'm not telling them that yet because that's part of the video. Inside information that we have. Who else brings you this great information that nobody else has? We should be 100,000 subscribers by now. People need to tell everybody, if you want to get the great information, which it is, look at all these promoters that have rallies and stuff that are coming to us and saying, hey, we want you guys to come to our event. We want you to do this. We want you to do that. I don't see that on a lot of the other guys. And you heard the other day when Jeff from the Cat House was saying that there isn't anybody. He knows Adam Sandoval and he knows a lot of people like that, but he's same thing. Adam Sandoval's not us. Adam Sandoval's out doing his 120 day,
Yep.
Right, 120 dealerships that he's going to be riding to.
To the 120th anniversary.
I think he leaves, no, it's not, it's this weekend.
It's the same weekend as
Yeah.
the Spring Fling.
Yeah, so it's next weekend. That I think it's that Sunday he's heading out. But I think his wife's going with him too.
Oh,
I
Ashley's going?
wonder if she quit her job.
She might have.
If you make enough money, they don't have to do that anymore. She was working at the hospital too.
She was the
No,
X-ray.
she may not want to tell everybody what she did.
No.
And
Buick
Talk to me
Electra
yourself.
225, a true ride. I did. My mom and dad had one when I was little. It was probably like a little 67. No, could have been that new.
I used to have one on my
61.
car lot in
Maybe it was a
1972
61.
Buick Electra
Probably
225.
61 or 62. Because I was about 7 when we had it, and it wasn't new. Deuce and a quarter. Website updates would probably help with the subscribers and viewers. I don't know. I need a regimen. Somebody tells me this is what I got to
It's
do.
because she
this,
plays
this,
on her
this.
little game. She's playing every night, a couple times a day. I said, you're supposed to be setting for your drone test. So when you need the computer up. What's up now?
What's on your
It's
side,
been
not
2
my
days.
side.
Who's sitting there now? Who was sitting there this afternoon? When I came back, you were playing the game.
You're going to start just the first Sunday, the 6th, the FXR bike show, and then they could help you out, I bet. So is whoever was looking for a Triumph, or do you want a Triumph, or do you have a Triumph? Monthly newsletter, messages, and group chats function all on the website.
We can't find the list of telling where the list of all the people that signed up. I don't get those emails. I never did get those emails.
Yeah, I don't know where they go. I have a 1980 FXWG Joe Road yesterday. Laugh out loud. There you go. There's that phone again. The Buick Electra weighed about 2 million pounds, all car.
I used to have a 1976 Thunderbird. That was a heavy car too.
I remember that car because it was the first car I'd ever seen that had electric windows in it. I was like, it was beige color. I was like all excited.
My dad used to work at a Buick dealer before he was a Popo.
And I remember, I still don't wear seatbelts, but back then I didn't have a seatbelt on, and we stopped. I was with my dad, and I cut my forehead. Had to get stitches because, of course, the dashboards back then were metal. No padding. I can help with that. I probably need help. I need help. Joe, that's at the Chip, yes. A lot of most of the bike shows, I think, are at the Chip. Are there?
Well, no,
any
the
else?
Iron Horse has some bike
that's
shows
right.
out there. I'm not sure if Full Throttle. I think they have one or two, but I don't know what they are. I've never seen. They have biker games and stuff out of the Full Throttle, but
Is that when they have them all in the middle when people ride in? Or
no,
do they just ride in there and park?
they just ride in part. It's like concert. They do the same thing that they do at Buffalo Chip that they ride in. But yeah, they even got a Honda motorcycle show going on at the Buffalo Chip. Because somebody wrote the other day, they were posting it, and they like, really, is this a joke? And I'm like, dude, there are people who ride Hondas. Harley's not the only bike in the world, and there's nothing wrong with having different bike shows for different groups of people. I don't mind looking at some Hondas. No, I don't mind looking at Triumphs. If you want to know more about Triumphs, you want to check out Wim's company.
WEEMS.
Yep, he's a Triumph guy, and
He got
knows
the
a
right
lot.
one.
Yep, one is old bikes.
57.
He's like a 40 something. And But yeah, he knows everything about triumphs. He's a triumph guy. And I don't know a lot about triumphs. I only rode that one. It's the only one I ever rode, that old one. It was weird because everything was backwards because it was an English one. So every time I hit the brake, I kept downshifting into first. Every time I kept trying to pull the brake pedal up, I wasn't doing anything to it. So I could only get out of about second gear because I kept kicking it back down.
Yeah, I
only
rode
drove
around the block.
Yeah, didn't go very far. Then he
Hit
came and showed me how the
my
bike
front
was
tire
completely
off the
rusted
ground
away.
the other day. Oh, there you go, Rider X. It's because you got that big old motor in it.
Did you end up laying on the ground and your bike kept going this way?
Seen a few.
You get one of the little bracelets like you have for jet skis, or put your key in, or whatever pulls you out, it turns it off.
Turns the bike off. I've seen that where a guy falls off the back and the bike just keeps going. It's like goes for a
Well, I
bump
had a
or
one the
something.
other day. If you've seen on the internet, I don't know where they filmed it at, but some guy's bike caught on fire, and I guess what it ended up doing was it shorted out the starter, and it must have shorted it out the solenoid, and it started the bike. So this bike is just going around in circles while it was on fire.
Oh,
I don't know if it's an old one or new video, whatever it was, but it's all over the place. If you're on Facebook, you've probably seen that one.
Yeah, on their Facebook page, they've got a list of all their bike shows and stuff that's coming up.
And you go on their Facebook page, they're talking about every one of their bike shows. We're not that close to talking about bike shows yet there. We got Rod on today on the video we're putting up tomorrow, so you can check that out. But right now, there's not a whole pertinent information. We got to find out when the next band announcement's going to be. But things are starting to happen in Sturgis. We've talked to the city and stuff. They've got some more events coming up that we'll be talking about. The Indian dealer, the Harley dealer, a lot of stuff slowly starting to get going. Most of these people, you don't realize these rallies, a lot of stuff takes a long time to get it done. It's just like the bands. Everybody's complaining, why is the Buffalo Chip putting more stuff out? Last year, this time, they already had almost all their headliners let up. Problem is, these people aren't signing contracts, and he writes them out to some of these bands that are not out doing touring. Because you can look around, and I do that now, because you can actually go to state fairs around and things like that, and you can see the people that are actually out touring, which gives you a good indication who you may see at the Buffalo Chip. You're not going to get a band, excuse me, you might not, for instance, I said it the other day, you're not going to get Garth Brooks to come to the Buffalo Chip. Just ain't going to do it. They just want too much money. And there's a lot of people. Jelly Roll's another one. When we talked to Rod in October, we said, hey, they're pretty good. He says, he's like $500,000 to $1 million what he wants to come to show. No. People thought Kid Rock was charging $125,000. That was a lot of money. Well, look at Jelly Roll. He wants $300,000 to $500,000 to show up. So a lot of these people just want stupid, crazy money. And you can't pay that for a rally, because what ends up happening is what happens if it rains? You still got to pay that guy his $300,000 to $500,000 and everybody walks out. Or maybe people didn't show up. Now, in Buffalo Chip's not so bad because you got people that have already paid, but you still get a lot. Like Kid Rock, you probably had 25,000 people probably showed up at Kid Rock that didn't even own a motorcycle. They came in on a car or a bus or something like that, and they came to hear the concert. We'll see that in Panama City. We're going to have, they got some bands there, Buck Cherry. They've got, what's the guy? Panama City.
Panama City.
Rob Zombie. Rob Zombie's going to be there. That's going to bring a lot of people in that aren't necessarily motorcycle people. So sometimes when you have concerts like that in these big areas, people always say that, why don't more venues have big name concerts? Well, the problem you got then is you're going to start getting people that have nothing to do with motorcycles. They come in for the concert. So they're going to show up, take up parking spots to where you can't find a place to, Sturgis isn't so bad, but on some of these other routes, Panama City, if it swarms in, if 10,000 cars show up, you're going to have a hard time finding a place to put your freaking motorcycle at. So that's a bad thing when you get the big name concerts. You're going to drag people in that don't belong to the rally.
Ron White, I don't know who that is.
Ron White?
Yeah, I bet Ron White would perform at Sturgis.
He's a comedian. He was the one there with Jeff Foxworthy and Ron White and the other guy. Ron White was the guy he had a cigar, had the white hair. I don't know, did he?
I'm pretty sure.
Well, the guy I thought the other day, because he's playing at Orange County, is Iglesias, Fluffy. I was going to call Rod and tell him, bring Fluffy. I don't know if you guys would like that or not. Do you guys see Fluffy?
He's funny.
He is funnier now. He's a Mexican. He's from California. But, I mean, this guy, we've never seen him in person. I've seen a bunch of stuff on YouTube and stuff. My son-in-law's gone and seen him. But would you guys like to see Fluffy
like a comedian,
Yeah.
not really.
Yeah, he's a comedian. He's not a singer,
no.
but he's funnier as hell. He'd do a good hour or two show, and pretty good. And see the other one, which he wouldn't work real good, but we like to see it, is Jeff Foxworthy, not Jeff Foxworthy, with the puppets.
Oh, Jeff Durham.
Jeff Dunham. Jeff Dunham does a really good. He's got all those guys and puppets and stuff. And I don't know if that would fit into a motorcycle crowd. The one that I told Rod that he should do, we're good. That I told him he should do on Saturday night, the last Saturday night, is bring in Jimmy Buffett. Bring in about 10 truckloads of sand, dump it out there, go get a bunch of blow up kid swimming pools, fill them up with water, and tell everybody to bring whatever you want that's summer wise, bikinis and all this stuff. We used to go to Jimmy Buffett concerts in California, and they started at noon. The concert didn't start till 9 o'clock at night. By the time you got there, you were so drunk you couldn't stand up. But I mean, everybody, it was wild. People were fixing drinks and what?
2018, that
He
Ron
died.
White died.
Oh, so he ain't coming. Ron White ain't coming. Oh, the other one, do not bring, and I got to remind him, I'm going to call him and tell him that, do not bring Willie Nelson.
And family.
We seen him 15 years ago when the son of a bitch was half dead. I can't. No. He had the freaking bus driver singing.
Yeah, but he died in 2018. Actually, almost April 4th, 2018. My friends call me Fluffy.
But
his name is Gabriel Iglesias.
That's right.
Yeah, that's him.
And but I seen he's playing in Orange County at the fairgrounds, where we used to go. And some of the people that are there are actually coming to the Buffalo Chip. So I'm like, I was thinking about that today. But when we talked about today, we brought him on camera. We did our first, which is not the highest quality. I forgot to pick the video up. We did our first remote video. I downloaded it, re-edited it, and put it out. But it's only at 720. I should have brought it in at least 1080. Because it's not being like here. This is 720 now that you're watching, so it's not the highest of quality, but it's good enough for internet. But if you want to watch it like on your big TV or something like that, we could get a little grainy or something like that. Or if I want to re-edit it, it makes it a little tougher because it's compressed.
Dead. He said you should see if you can have Ron White on alive. Ain't gonna happen.
I don't know if he's down there or if he's up there, so I don't know who we need to call.
Yeah,
the guy that I would like to have is George Carlin. And when we were in high school, we used to listen to George Carlin all the time. I know he was very political and stuff, but he still had some really great the way he looked at things.
Plain, ordinary.
When he say, "Would you like to board your plane?" No, I don't
You
want to get on
the plane.
I want to get in the freaking plane. And he always had all those things because people say stupid stuff, and you don't realize when you think about it, what they're saying doesn't make any sense. So I miss that. That's why now I've seen pretty much all the concerts I really want to see. We've at least seen them once.
Boston.
Yeah, but I don't know if we'll ever see Boston. I don't know if they're even out anymore. That's about the only band I wouldn't mind seeing.
I think they still have their laser show. Yeah.
And but I mean, we've seen ELO, and we've seen Aerosmith, and we've seen Styx, we've seen REO Speedwagon, we've seen George Thorogood, we've seen a whole bunch of country people. Pretty much anybody that was from the 90s, we've seen all them.
See Reba. I'd like to see Reba.
We've seen Loretta Lynn back when she could sing. She was alive a long time ago.
She was almost.
Seen
She
Roy
didn't make it through the whole
Clark.
concert
Seen
either.
Charlie Daniels a bunch of times, which I'm really glad I seen him. I seen him right
Who was
before
the
he
guy
passed
who was
away.
on TV the other night? Ray Stevens?
Yeah, I've seen him back in Branson. Spiders and Snakes.
No, that's
Oh, the Streak. No, that's Jim Stanford too.
no. Jim Stanford's that guy.
He
The
did the
streak
camel
was
one.
was Ray Stevens.
Oh,
was
yeah.
the streak.
And he had the Camel
Palace.
in Branson. We've seen Jim Stanford
Paul
too.
Harvey.
Paul Harvey, I think
during
he's
the
dead too.
death. And they were at
Yeah. I used to listen to Paul Harvey every day when I used to be at work. It's on the radio in the truck.
Dippy Weatherman.
I don't know him.
Sorry, but a long time ago. I like this. I don't know. I like her. She was on.
She's seen Cher.
Yeah, Cher was pretty
Her
cool.
last concert 30 years ago.
Yeah, her farewell tour in 2002. I saw her. Sam Kinison was another great comedian. Yeah, he's gone too.
Well, John Belushi. I would like to see John Belushi. There's a lot of
Toby
people
Keith.
like that.
Did get to see Toby Keith.
Seen
A little
that.
disappointed. I mean, we heard he was awesome, but we saw the very last concert of his tour that year.
Yeah,
And I
before he
think
had the
he was
cancer.
done.
I think he already had the cancer and all that going
I don't
on.
know. I didn't know about that then.
Yeah,
but,
we didn't know either.
But
It wasn't as much as we thought he would be. But I mean, we've seen something. She's seen Rod Stewart, and Rod Stewart had a broken leg or something when we've seen him. And we've seen Bob Seger. We've seen Steve Miller Band. We've seen, I don't know. I told her one day, we need to sit down and write all the freaking people we've seen.
I don't even know if we can remember.
Yeah, because it's our very first concert I took her to was
Alice Cooper.
Yeah. So we've seen Alice Cooper. I seen that when we were 16 years old. I took her over to St. Louis and Kiel Auditorium and
Somebody puked all over the back of him.
Spent half the night chasing this kid down to kill him. And
I sat there
by herself with the guys. Well, she came with the guys.
Yeah, it was always me and 4 or 5 guys.
She never had to worry about anybody picking on her.
No.
All a bunch of brothers.
Little sister, yeah. Nobody gave me any grief.
And so yeah, we've seen so many concerts. There's really not anybody. I wouldn't mind seeing Chris Stapleton, but I don't have to see him. I'm not, he hasn't been around long enough to say that he was somebody I'd really like to see. Oh, we've seen. I also wanted to see
Ted Nugent. I guess
no, not Ted Nugent. Randy Travis. He had the stroke. Yeah. I would have liked to have seen him. I think I never got to see him. Never got to see George Strait.
Who's playing with Chris Stapleton right now? Who started? Was it George Strait or Clint Black?
Clint Black, I think it was. And but I mean, they only did like 6 concerts, and they're not far enough out. So I don't know, because right now we were going to talk to Rod about the concerts and just to kind of see where he's going, because to me he doesn't really have any country yet, which is really shocking. So I'm just kind of curious who he's looking at. I wouldn't mind seeing Queen. We had said that to him before, because now they got that Adam Lambert, which isn't really too bad. We're not a Journey fan anymore. We've seen Journey. We never got to see it with Stephen Perry. And but the new kid we walked out of.
Well, it was
Foreigner,
Cheap Trick, Foreigner, and Journey. So Cheap Trick was really good. Foreigner was excellent, and we couldn't wait to see Journey. And Journey came on,
and that kid could not sing. He didn't sound anything like Steve Perry. I'm a Steve Perry fan. That's what we grew up with, that version of Journey.
Actually, his house is for sale down in Bullhead City, Arizona.
A lot of money. It's like $3 million. We can get you into Steve Perry's house if you'd like to buy one.
Yep.
On the river, on the Colorado River. He's got guitars on his gate when you come in. I think it's $3 million. Who else do we see?
Ozzy Osbourne. Never saw him either.
I never seen Ozzy.
Unbelievable. Talk about someone who has...
We weren't really into a lot of headbanging music like that. Jethro Tull, we never heard him. He really wasn't headbanging. Grateful Dead, never into that. Doors, Bob Dylan. None of that did we really ever listen to.
The Beach Boys.
Yeah, we've seen Beach Boys. What else have we seen? I don't know. We've seen a lot of bands. But we finally got to, which now we don't go
Jerry
to.
Lee Lewis, that'd be cool.
Yeah, we didn't see that. We've never seen Chuck Berry or anybody like that either. I would love to have seen Elvis. And we could have seen him when we were still 16. He died when we were 16, but
17.
And I would have liked to have seen Elvis. But I really wasn't. I was kind of into music, but not as much as I got into later on. We DJ'd for a while. We actually were wedding DJs. We played bars, nightclubs, did I probably have about 10,000 CDs. I even have music that only radio stations get. All my stuff was edited.
Only.
Yep. And I did all that. Did that for a long time. The campground that we're going to this week, they don't do a lot of party games anymore because the guy just doesn't have any help. And I said, how would you like to do this and this and this? And he's like, I really would like to do that. I said, we'd be interested in doing that for you. I said, I want it for the content. And we put it on for you. He says, really? And I'm like, yeah. I said, we had an entertainment company. We used to do events.
You don't have any props.
I don't need props for what we were going to do. One was going to be a homemade bikini contest. You might need a prop if you're going to be in a homemade bikini contest. I just need people to give me money to give away to those people. You don't have to do like $100 away. You have a homemade bikini contest. You have a beard contest. You can have a wet T-shirt contest. I'm not much into the biker games, biting the wiener and rolling the barrel and all that. I like stuff people can come onto the stage and do. You can see how many wieners you could eat. We could put them all in a bowl and have people
Eating contest.
jamming them in their mouth.
Or you could do like how many marshmallows could you stuff in your mouth?
Yeah.
I don't know. Have to write that crap down.
So I don't know. I got to call the guy because at first I said I wouldn't do it till
How
next year.
about
They have plenty of time to
the
advertise it,
contest?
but he might be interested in doing it this coming up next week. So I don't know.
Latest concert, Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah.
We've been to a bunch of his.
We've been to Jimmy Buffett about 5 times. The most concerts we've been to.
Hey, Bill.
I've been to more than she's been to REO Speedwagon. I have probably been at least 6 times to REO Speedwagon.
Somebody was working.
I went before I even knew you. My sister
Wow.
is 7 years older than me. They used to get stuck. I don't know if they got stuck or what. I went along with a couple concerts. My sister's best friend was a friend of mine. So a lot of times we went along to these concerts. We would call them Mississippi River Festival. You talk about, this is back in the Stoner days. This is in the early 70s.
It was at SIU Edwardsville.
Yeah, it was on this hill. There still is. There's a guy I know that went out there a while back. There still is the pylons from where the speakers. You brought your. They had but it was a perfect hill. It stayed. Well, anybody who's seen those kind of theaters, but everybody sat on the grass, smoking dope and all that kind of stuff. And I've seen a bunch of. I probably seen Aerosmith back there, but I'm not sure. I can't remember Aerosmith, but they were probably somebody I seen back in the 70s too when they first kind of started out. And so my sister took me there. So that's probably the most popular concert that she's seen him quite a few times too. She's probably seen him 4 or 5 times. And then the next one would be Garth Brooks. We probably have seen Garth Brooks 4 or 5 times. Jimmy Buffett, we probably have seen 4 or 5 times. Those are probably the ones we've seen the most.
What's his name? 3 times, same concert over and over.
She was a Kenny Rogers fan.
Oh, yeah.
She
Until the 3rd time I saw him.
Well, the first time we went was down in Branson, Missouri. And I'm like, oh, you want to? She always liked his beard and stuff, his long hair. And so we went and we sat pretty close. And so the next time, about 2-3 years later, I go, do you want to go again? And she's like, yeah, he's coming to town. Go ahead and get tickets. So I got tickets. And so 2 weeks before, a month before, they had a PBS special of
Kenny
Rogers. Well, it was kind of a lot like the same one we seen 4 or 5 years ago. And she's like, if it's going to be the same, I don't want to go. I said, this was filmed like a year ago, so it should be. You should have a different show.
Same songs, same jokes, in the same order, same show. Oh my gosh,
Well, Jackal's like that too, which is sad. That you can almost write down what he's going to say and what he's going to sing. We seen him, which I don't know if any of you are on my Facebook page, but I posted a video that it was 6 or 7 years ago. We seen Jackal down in San Diego in a bar that's not much bigger than this pizza place right here. And I'm right down front when they cut the chair up and all that. And it's the first time we'd seen Jackal on TV from the Full Throttle, but never in person. This was great. It wasn't super loud. You could, it was talking to somebody there, but it wasn't like it was in Panama City last year. And it was really good. It was a great concert, and there probably wasn't 75 people in this bar. It might be closer to 50 people was in the bar. And it was supposed to be because in San Diego, it was one of the
first places they played
in this bar, and he was coming back and doing a party, and somehow I got an invitation to it. And it was only like
Brick House.
Yeah, it was only like $50 for both of us to go to the concert. And I'm like, let's just go down there. I'd love to see Jackal. See what they're like.
Night.
Yeah.
It was like a Monday or Tuesday night. But we did it. That was an hour away from where we lived. So we went down there.
An hour.
Stayed for the concert and then came home and got up at 4 o'clock in the morning and went to work. Much younger back then.
Happy days. You're just thinking about Sue, her friend Sue. Goes to bed at 7 or 8 o'clock every night, and she doesn't go to work till 7 o'clock in the morning.
No.
What she just said. She doesn't have to be at work till 7. She just said it today. I get to work. There's no reason she needs to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. She ain't got no kids.
I need to be at work at 6, so I got up at 4.
But you had a 30-minute drive.
Yes.
But she might, even if she has a 30-minute drive, what the hell is she getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning for? She's got no kids. She's got the boyfriend. Who knows what he's doing? He's probably sleeping sawing logs.
Well, he walks her out to her car every morning. I don't know. Well, she makes.
I just assumed she got up to 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. She left.
Breakfast.
I thought she was working 10 or 20 hours.
Eggs and bacon every morning. So I never did that. I had a box of cereal at work and a container of milk. And while I was warming up my machine, I'd eat my cereal. I like cereal. I could eat a bowl of cereal before I go to bed every night.
These are Fruit
and
Loops.
talked, not Fruit Loops, almost over 2 hours to somebody.
I've seen and talked over almost 2 hours too. Oh, was you talking to the people from
Bye,
Sakura?
Rex. I doubt it. Sales
Red Rex gotta go to bed. What the heck? What are you?
Well, no, he might have to work.
8 o'clock.
He's doing work probably. He's the same time we are. Never saw either one of those two either. James
Seals and
Taylor,
Crofts
Seals and
didn't say
Crofts. No.
We did finally get to see Dan Fogelty from CCR.
CCR.
He's really good show too. He does a really good show. So if you're a CCR fan, Dan Fogelty, if you get the chance to check him out, he does a great show. I would recommend him for the chip, but I think too many people would whine and cry that there's too many 70-ish bands playing. I understand.
Fine with me.
Well, I understand you got to have a big variety because you got people of all different ages. You got people that are 21 years old there, and you got people there that's 90 years old.
Well, we got a 17-year-old grandson that would love to see George Thorogood. So,
But I don't know if he knew any more songs than Bad to the Bone.
I don't know. You don't want to see BTO.
No, they suck. You've seen them too.
Yeah.
They're another one like ZZ Top. Now, nothing wrong with ZZ Top, but ZZ Top, if you close your eyes, sounds just like the CD, and you wouldn't know the difference from the CD versus they could be lip syncing, which they're not lip syncing, but they could lip sync and you'd never know the difference. BTO's like that too. She likes a band that's got some personality to them, where they walk out and say,
at least they say welcome.
Hey, welcome,
Buffalo
Sturgis. How are you all you guys doing? Let's party
BTO came
some.
out, didn't say a word, didn't say welcome, hello, we're
Kiss my
BTO,
butt.
nothing. They said, ladies and gentlemen, BTO. They walked out, sat down, played half an hour, got up and walked off. Didn't say thanks.
Kiss my butt.
Hope you enjoyed it.
ZZ Top's exactly the same way too. They do a nice show if you want to hear music. We've seen ZZ Top 3 or 4 times, but I like their music. I definitely like ZZ Top. I like all their songs. I'm a fan of ZZ Top. I'm just not a fan of their live performances. Now, we have never seen them playing in Sturgis, so I don't know if they're any different in Sturgis if they get the crowd going. We like if you go to Sturgis, come to the George Thorogood concert and listen to it. You will hear him talking between the songs, trying to get you riled up and having fun, and you'll have a great time. Now, there's some people that don't like that. But somebody was talking the other day about a concert that somebody did a lot of talking through it, and they're like, "Oh, I wanted to hear them sing. I don't want to hear what the hell they got to say." Everybody's a little different. That's what makes the world go round.
I think we saw Jefferson Airplane. We were at a concert or a taste testing, something in Orange County, and Jefferson Airplane was playing. You remember that?
Yeah. Because they were going under a different name too for a while. I forget what else.
Black Sabbath we've never seen either.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
But that's what George said. If you remember, you really weren't there. Yeah, because
the ZZ Top. First time I ever seen ZZ Top, it was in Pomona at the Love Ride, and it was like 100 freaking degrees in Southern California, and we were standing out in a hot sun, not a tree to be found. You were in a field, and it was like I think we listened to about 2 songs, and it's like we're time to go. It's just too freaking hot out here.
I think it was Leonard Skinner we saw at Pomona too.
Yeah, Leonard Skinner.
Everybody was smoking. I was like, I thought I was going to get sick. I'm like, it's time. As much as I wanted to see him, I could hardly stand it. American Eagles. We saw the Eagles. Saw Chicago. Yep, they were all good stuff. Yep.
ELO was a little bit of a disappointment, not from music size, but we went to the Hollywood Bowl. First time I'd ever been to the Hollywood Bowl. And it's worth going to. Say you've been there, done that. But the laser show, they couldn't get enough fog out to really see the lasers, and that's part of ELO.
Yeah.
And
the light show.
And he sounds just as good today. George Thorogood's like that too. You can close your eyes and listen to George Thorogood, and you're like, which most people don't do. If you listen to a lot of artists, you'll hear that they'll turn their music up a lot louder than what they're singing to cover up that they can't sing that well. And there's a lot of people, just to show you, for instance, maybe you've never heard her, not Britney Spears. She's somebody that can't sing at all. But when you put the music, you put the background tracks to her and change her voice and all that. Makes
they mix it.
Mutilate her voice to make
and they mix it to sound really good. Well, there's not a lot of artists that actually have.
Keep that.
Elvis was like that. Elvis didn't. If you actually, when we started doing karaoke, we actually did karaoke before we got into DJing. And we had people that would sing Elvis songs. Well, I would play. They'd say, well, "Let me hear it first." And it was like the music that Elvis has is just a beat. There's no melody to the music. It's his voice is what made it. And I was like, wow, I had no idea that Elvis had that ability, that he was the music. He didn't need any background music. He could do it all with his voice. And it was like, oh, that's why I say today I wish I would have got to see, because there is nobody that's ever been like him. And nobody has the voice that he has and never will be.
Well, Bob Seger's like that too. A lot of people say, oh, this one guy, remember, he always wanted to sing Turn the Page by Bob Seger. He said, I know this song frontwards and backwards, my favorite song. I sing it all the time. And the song came on, same thing. It's just like,
he couldn't get it going.
No, you have to know.
You have to know the melody.
Yes. And he couldn't do it. But
and there's some songs like that.
Yeah.
I'm not a big singer. She sings a little more than I do. We do karaoke. You kind of get. We're not singer. A lot of people that go do karaoke professionally, they want to be. They're a wannabe band that never made it, and then they decided they want to get up.
They want to sing.
We didn't want to do that. We wanted other people to sing. So I would do songs that I could talk through. I do some.
Cocaine, Trashy Woman, Lowrider,
Paradise by Dashboard Lights. What's the country one I do?
Trashy Women.
Born to be Wild.
Oh, Born to Boogie.
Born to Boogie.
By Hank Williams Jr.
Yeah, I can do a couple Hank Williams Jr. songs. But don't ask me to sing, because I haven't done it in a long time. She does it. She does some Tanya Tucker. She does Pat Benatar. She does
Never saw her either.
Trisha Yearwood.
Nope.
People used to like her. She'd go around the audience with the cordless mic and singing to people, doing her little thing. They'd applaud her. Yay! They did.
It wasn't because I was singing.
What were they doing? You weren't shaking anything. You weren't just going around, did it to the tables like a movie star would do. She was playing her wannabe from, instead of being in front of a mirror when she was a kid, she got to actually go out and have look. But that was a long time ago.
Yes, it was.
Back in the
hey
90s.
There's Dave Chillers. How you doing? The Bee Gees. No, I never saw the Bee Gees either.
No. We weren't really big in that. I didn't go to a lot of concerts. Alice Cooper's about the only concert we went to kind of like in the 80s. Bee Gees were in more of the late 70s, 76, 77. We went and seen Alice Cooper during that, but I think that's about the only concert we've seen when we were in high school. I don't think we went to see anything else. I went to Summer Jam, Super Jam that was out there.
I guess the kids were little when we saw Meatloaf.
Yeah, we seen Meatloaf.
Oh my
I've
gosh.
seen Tanya Tucker and stuff back when she was 15, 16. Not when she's... I got pictures of her. That's a whole bad subject.
Versus Old Buffalo. You better get hot. I've seen a few country B&B, Airbnb on 83 Rally page last night. You better get, I don't know.
Oh, are you talking that we should be not having them on our page? Is that what you're saying? I see them coming on, but I mean, I don't, unless you can prove that they're not legitimate people, then we remove them. But I'm okay with people post. We're talking about our Sturgis page, our 83 Sturgis page, info for help and all that. We let people post stuff on there. We got a photographer that puts stuff on there constantly. We've got some people posting Airbnbs, campgrounds. We actually have our friend that Doug. He's got his house over in Rapid City. He rents the basement out. Great place. We're gonna be doing some of that on that. But if you can find out any of those people are not legit or it's a bad situation, which I always remind people that all the time. I'm very leery of Airbnbs and Airbnbs altogether, or renting somebody's house, renting somebody's basement, whatever it is. Because once you've sent all your money to them,
that was for Tomcat.
You can be screwed, because Airbnb does nothing for you if you don't get your money, because you paid that person. You didn't pay Airbnb. So you always want to be, I'm like this guy, Doug, that rents his basement out. I was scared. Now there, I didn't require all the money. He didn't require all the money up front. We only had to put up, I don't know, $200-300. And then we paid the balance when we got there. I think it gave $200 balance credit. We paid him cash when we showed up. Me and Art went and her. And Art rented a bedroom and we took the other bedroom. So we handed him the cash that day. So I was only out to $200, but I was afraid
still
of.
scared. Even
I was
after
afraid-
the time we went up and knocked on the door, he was afraid the guy's going to say, "Who are you? I didn't rent my house out."
Well, I searched the guy out. I found out where he worked. I Googled his house. I did all the searching I could possibly do to cover myself. But when you're sending somebody money and you're writing them a check or whatever they're doing, even a credit card now, credit card companies are not very friendly anymore like they used to be. Used to be, like, let's say, hey, I booked something in Sturgis. Let's say Neil. Neil's got a situation where he might get screwed because he's booked a campground that has sold now and he can't get a receipt from the new people. So if he would happen to show up in Sturgis early, like he's planning on going, and shows up to the campground and says, "Hey, I'm here to get my cabin." They're like, "Who are you?" "I'm Neil." "Neil who?" "We don't have no Neil in our book." "Well, I got a receipt here that I had from the last guy." "I don't know nothing about that. Never got anything from that guy." "Sorry." So what's he got to do? Now you got to go find some place to sleep. Well, I worry about that. When you go places, it's that's one of the big things that especially we've seen it happen in Daytona. We've seen it happen in a lot of the rallies that we've gone to. We've seen people that have gotten screwed by somebody. Now, I'm not saying everybody's going to get screwed and everything happens, but that's why sometimes it's better to put a little bit of a deposit down and pay the balance when you show up. At least then you would still have some money that you could go buy something else. Now, in Neil's case, we found him a couple of cheaper places that he could find that he could maybe get into. But once again, he'd have to come up
He
with
said
another.
he's got a verbal from the manager, but that manager's given us 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, even verbal, you could still show up and that guy says, "Who are you?" "Well, I got a verbal from you." "I didn't tell you nothing." It's your word against his word. Unless you recorded it. Then you had to tell him you recorded it.
I don't know.
Me,
Been an hour and a half.
I'd be finding a way to get there. Or find somebody that's going to.
Well, he has reached out.
I know he's doing that. I would find somebody there, or I would pay somebody there. You should have your original receipt when you booked your place.
He's got a receipt, but he's still hanging.
That's right. That receipt. I would make a photocopy of that receipt, and even if I had to pay somebody $50, $100 to go get you a receipt, that's what I would do. Who would I find? You can find somebody that does the processing. The people that go out and serve warrants and stuff. Not warrants, but show subpoenas. You could probably find somebody like that. I think we only paid $50 or $100 for the guy we had do it. You can get a sheriff to do it. You could do the other thing. You could, which I don't know what it costs, check in Rapid City and see what small claims court cost. Start processing a small claims court fee. Sometimes it's only, I think when we first did it, it was less than $100. Well, then they get served. They'll probably call you then. Go, "Hey, send me a receipt and I'll throw it up." Might be enough to scare somebody. You can find out who owns the property by getting a hold of the county records. You get the address of the place, which you should know, call the county courthouse and ask for records and ask to see who owns that property. If you get lucky, you'll get somebody that will be nice to tell you that. The other choice, you might have to pay somebody to go there and get you a photocopy of it. I would think out there you might be able to get it without. You might be able to get him to
Have
ask.
to make sure what. I don't know if that's Meade County or if that's Pendleton.
Yeah, I don't know.
Pennington.
Well, you can call the American Legion and somebody in America, whoever answers the American Legion phone, ask for the commandant, the leader,
Commandant.
whatever they are. I can't think what they call. Ask for them and say,
Commander.
"What county are you?" Commander, that's it. "What county are you in?" And would Socorro Ranch, Socorro Station, would they still be in that same county? Well, then you call that courthouse and ask for a records department. You spend a little time on the phone. You're probably spending a good hour or two getting all that done. But at least then you'll at least get the name of the person who owns it. That would be where I would start.
Have you ever seen couples getting married during Sturgis Rally or getting divorced?
Get married now.
We've got a couple getting
We
married.
got a couple get married. Actually, I am an officiate for South Dakota. So we are going to talk. If you're interested, we actually have a wedding right now that's going to be put on by the mayor of Sturgis. Going to be done at the Buffalo Chip on opening day on Friday. Mike and Patsy, you guys may have seen them on our Sturgis pages that they're counting their days down and getting married. And so yes, I've never seen anybody get divorced, but I have seen people get married there. I've also seen people that have passed away and they've brought ashes to drop on front of stages in different big
Or out
venues.
on roads.
I'm not going to say anything about that because some of that I don't know how legal it is, but I'm not going to say
when
where.
we were at Cackleberry, remember that lady? I asked if I could take a picture of her, and I gave her a card, and she's like, "Oh, you took our picture when we were in Sturgis when we got married last year or the year before." Don't remember that? That was just out at Cackleberry this last year.
Yeah, so there's a lot of that's. I don't know anybody that's got a divorce because what I don't know. See, getting married is a little bit easier. You just got to go get a license, and that's about it. And you got to have somebody that's got, like me, I'm through the. I don't know what my order. I got a thing halfway. I got to sign it, and so that's about all it takes. Now, some states can require others. You know, it's like Vegas. Vegas is the same way. You go down, get your license, go down there to the other place, get married within an hour, and not a big deal. Sturgis, I think, is kind of like that too. But getting a divorce is usually a little bit harder to do.
Where were we at? Was it in Daytona too? They had those little yard signs, and it said "Get a divorce for $99
Yeah.
or $199." So
But
you go.
But you couldn't. I don't because it's all legal. It's all got to be registered, and I don't know if it can be registered in a state that you don't live in. Because typically, if you get married in Las Vegas, you're supposed to take your license to your state and re-register it again.
Ooh. Then you may not be married.
Well, you're still married according legally in South
Nevada.
Dakota. I mean, in Las Vegas. So you're still married in that state, but you should, if you're a permanent resident, like we were in California when our daughter got married, she should came back and sent that license into California, so it's registered there too. But as long as you always remember, hey, I was married in Las Vegas, it's registered at the courthouse there. But see, you have to turn the license back in. See, a lot of people want to get a license. You fill it all out. It's not legal until the original license goes back to the courthouse and gets registered. So there might be a lot of people that went to like Las Vegas. You have the guy sign it and all that stuff. You get your license, you walk away. It's not registered yet. You haven't signed everything yet. Unless you signed it when you picked it up. But you didn't get the officiate. It's like us. When we signed it, we didn't get the original one back. We got a picture one. And then she had to go to the courthouse years later. Well, actually, when
Years ago.
my company that I work
Get a
for
copy of it.
wanted to make sure that everybody, you had to be married. You had to show you were married for them to cover you. That was before
Your
significant.
spouse.
That was before significant others could be allowed. And so she had to call the courthouse because we didn't have the original one. She just had a photo one, and they said, nope, we don't take photocopies. We have to have the original.
Had to be like the
Certified.
seal.
The county seal was on it. So a lot of people don't know that. So like in our case, our minister, when we got married, he kept the original one. And then I guess he mailed it into the state. I guess, I don't know.
To the county.
Yeah.
All I have to do is find someone to marry now. You're on over an hour and a half.
Your best bet is to bring somebody with you to Sturgis. It's a little tough now. Hey, Mike, it's getting married. He found his wife in Sturgis. He knew her before that.
Yeah,
But she came.
that's why they're getting
They
married.
had no intentions of getting married when they met. They didn't know when they
didn't-
met.
No.
We'll have to have them tell the story. They would do it around the campfire.
There we go. I have a lady in Ohio looking. Her husband died.
We can tell you a lot of people. What's her name that was on here?
Dawn.
Dawn. Dawn's looking for somebody. We haven't seen Dawn in a while. She pops in every now and then. I think she's kind of looking for a new husband or a significant other or a good buddy or just
Friends with benefits.
yeah, something like that. And then there was a girl on the other day that I think Neil was getting kind of friendly with. What girl was
I
that?
don't remember who that. Oh, I can't remember. Was it Mary? Mary from Wisconsin. Mary Pendleton or something like that.
She was getting kind of friendly with Neil there. That's what she said. I didn't see it. Neil's like, who's that? Getting friendly?
Anyway,
All right, I guess we're done. Had enough fun for tonight, right?
that's so.
It was almost
So-
like a Sunday.
Well, it does. So, I
Somebody
won't-
has to tell us we're almost like the monkey band. We're just talking crazy stuff.
so
We're just not doing
tonight's
shots.
episode was about TMMR,
There you go.
Tennessee Music and Motorcycle Revival.
Look right here. What's that say?
Motorcycle,
Tennessee.
Tennessee Motorcycle and Music Revival, May 18th to the 21st, 2023 at Loretta Lynn Ranch in Hurricane Mills, Tennessee.
I typed all that out.
All by himself. So, that's what our story was about tonight.
That's Bigfoot back here.
No, it's not. It's a football
Bigfoot with
player.
a Bud Light.
No, it's a football.
I can't see him. It's black over here.
No, it's over this way.
Oh, it is a football. Kind of look like a can of beer there.
So anyway, check
Running-
that out.
Running under
We
the
got to talk
NASCAR
to
sign.
Buck. Buck told us a little bit about what's going on and all kinds of stuff. So if you're in that area around that time, go check it out. It's well worth going to.
Rapture Ranch.
She's
What happened?
on every once in a while. She was on last live or the live before she was on. And
David wants somebody with friends with benefits. They're around.
so thanks for hanging out with us.
Some of them are married women. They're always looking for friends with benefits.
Little love all you guys. Like hanging out with you. Thanks for all the feedback and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Share us with your family and
Hey,
friends.
haircut.
Think about Patreon. Give us a big thumbs up. Ring that bell for notifications. Are you done? We'll see you on the next video. Bye.
I gotta hit the mouse.
Put your butt in.
Oh, we got a turtle living out in front of our house.
We do.
Mama turtle and the daddy turtle.
No babies.
Didn't see no baby turtles yet.
They don't let them out.
We're gonna put pictures up soon of them. They came all the way over. She goes, "Oh look, they're coming on the mat." She goes, "Yeah, they're gonna poop on my mat."
So I figured they do. Okay, Pating Nation, need to go fix supper. Night. Good night, Neil. And good luck. Bye.
Hopefully, if they get a hold of you, let me know.
Yep. If
They
they
don't
call
call-
us, we'll
yeah.
let you know. Hey, Tony. See ya.
It's over now. Show's over.
He might have been on. That's all, folks.
Bye. One more. Gotta click.
Click the button.